Well, if you can't tell, we're doing a Halloween shoot. Anyway, just using the ice lights. I'm only using 3 of them. I had planned on a different lighting system that something gave out right before I started, but this is an amazing shoot. I hope you join me. Let's get to the shoot. I use this backdrop system in almost every shoot, well, pretty much every shoot that I do in the studio. And I have a separate one for location because I use it that much. And everybody always asks me about this backdrop, and I always forget to put it in the description. So I won't forget to put it in the description this time. But this is the Westcott X Drop Pro. Now, everybody asks me, they have the regular X Drop, which is a 5x7, and the X Drop Pro, which is the 8x8 here. And everybody always asks me, which one should they get? Because, the X Drop is a little less expensive than the X Drop Pro. But I always tell them, get the X Drop Pro because you can use this in both the 5x7 and the 8x8. So if you do go to a location that has a smaller size that you don't need something this big, you can, you know, configure it to work with the 5x7 backdrops. Plus, you have the option to use the full 8x8. So I love this backdrop system. I just wanted to share that with you because everybody always asks me about it. And I apologize for forgetting to put it in the description of each of my videos. But I wanted to tell you about it so you know. And yeah, when I want to change backdrops, I always don't take the backdrop off. A lot of times I will just throw the backdrop over my existing backdrop because it's so easy and quick. And as you know, I use a lot of white backdrops in my shooting, so having the white on there all the time is much easier than taking it on and off. Not that it's hard to take on and off. So honestly, I had a complete different lighting setup for this shoot, and I took it out of the box. It was supposed to be showcased on my channel, and it failed. So I went to my go-to, which is the ice lights. Don't ask which system it was. I don't want to embarrass the company. I may have just gotten a bad set, but I'm just not going to show them. So the ice lights I have control of, and I wanted to show you right at a camera what these are looking like. Now, obviously she wants her design and all her props in the photos, so that, shooting down like that is the best for her at this point. But I wasn't happy with it. So I'm going to walk you through the build of this shoot to the final images, which made us both happy. So these aren't bad images, don't get me wrong, but they were just lacking something. Me personally, I would like a lower look, like getting that camera to the ground and just giving that drama like this. But then you really can't see, the design that she has and everything that's, in the photo. So we have to come up with a happy medium. So my first idea was using the fog. Now this is that Colbar fog machine. I love this thing. I have the remote in my hand. I just have her moving it around. And then I'm going to have her put it behind her. I'll shut it off with the remote. If you do need a fog machine, I don't use it a lot, but when I do need it, it's great that it's there. Anyway, so this initial fog, this is not what I'm looking for. I like the residual fog, what's going to be left over. So I give a little bit of haze in the photo with the LEDs. I like that idea. And, this is just not it for me. I would much prefer like a dry ice on the floor kind of look if I want this kind of look, but this just doesn't do it for me. So I did use it a couple times just in case we got that shot, but it's just not working in my opinion. So that residual fog is going to add a little bit something to the photos without, the main fog is hanging out. So as that dissipates, it'll still leave a little bit of residual fog in the air, and it'll make the image glow just a little bit more with the warmer tones that I'm using on the lights. Now, I'm going to adjust the lights manually as little as possible because I hate getting up and down off the floor. On the camera, by the way, I'm using the Nikon ZF with the Nikon, that 28mm little plastic lens they have. It's a great little lens for this shoot. It allows me to get all of her props in. By the way, this is entirely her concept. Lighting and backdrop is up to me. The concept was up to her, and she did a great job. I think it's going to be a cool image when we finally get the right one. Making these little adjustments in the lights, I'm just trying to get, the right look that's going to make her happy as the client and me happy as the artist, which is really hard to do sometimes. Sometimes you just have to go with the client and be happy with it. Now I'm trying the fog behind her so it doesn't engulf her completely. I still don't really like it. I mean, it does add something to the photo. The photo's not bad, don't get me wrong, but I'm still not at that point where I want to be. But I love doing this, and I love, sharing these kind of builds with you and showing you the build and the concept and how they come to life. Now, you may like one of the earlier images and say, "Yeah, that's the image. That's fine," and she may like one of those as well. But I want to be happy as well. So, like, I'm going to keep going, keep building, and keep trying different things. So, I tried the green on the LED. I really didn't like it that much. It's okay, it gives a look. I had her pass me one of the candles so I can put that in the foreground. It was okay, really didn't like the look. But then I'm thinking, if I want the dramatic look and I want to show everything that she put into this because, she's the client and she took time, setting this up and doing the design on the floor and all that kind of stuff. I have to get all that in, but I want to be happy as well. So I figured I'm going to try shooting down. Now I like this image, but then I saw that the streaks of light in the back there, but then that front light was driving me crazy. This is the positive side, so I'm gonna use these barn doors to really tighten up those streaks of light. I figured it would be you know, a path into her, like a leading line, from both sides into her with the light, but then I had to control that front light, which, all I have to do is turn it horizontally, close up the barn doors a little bit. This will allow me to keep light fall off to the floor to a minimum in the front. And the light on our face is gonna be a little bit more dramatic because I set it that way, and those backlight, those streaks into her really, make a difference. I like this look, and this to me is fantastic. I think this is gonna make both of us happy because we have all of her concept in the image. I have something that I like, because it's a more of a dramatic look. I think it's really cool. So I'm waiting to see because I haven't sent these to her yet. But hopefully when she sees them, she loves them. I like that shooting down look. I think it's a little bit more dramatic, and I would pick one of those for my first images. These, I wanted to do one laying down to see what it would look like, and it is nice. I like it a lot, but I like the ones with her sitting up just a little bit more. So that's, one of those is definitely my pick. Thanks for watching as always.